Jeff too? Is that you? Oh, hey Jeff. Long time no see, man. Bro, what happened to you? I thought you wanted to learn Spanish. I mean, I still do. I want to learn some other languages too. Bro, I don't understand. You were learning pretty good last year. I don't know, man. I guess I just got discouraged again. Well, you read my book, right? I mean, yeah, I still got it. It's right here. Let me see that thing. Bro, did you ever open this thing at all? Yeah, dude. Now, obviously you tried to learn Spanish before, but you're not fluent. Have you ever tried to learn any other language? Yeah, a few. In your opinion, why did you not become fluent? I don't know, man. I guess I started too late in life. You know, I'm too old. Kids do better at that stuff. I've heard that before. Plus, I'm not gifted at languages, you know? Okay. I've never lived in a foreign country. Alright, let me stop you for a second. Let's pretend that you have the same body and mind that you have now, except you were born in China. Would you speak Chinese? If I was born in China? Yeah, of course. Okay. Now, same body and mind that you have now, what if you were born in Japan? Would you speak Japanese? Yeah, dude, I'd be great at it. Okay, well, what about now? Don't you have the same body and mind that you just claimed was capable of learning another language? Come on, man, that's different. What do you think are the anatomical differences between your speech organs and those of a person from another country? Well, we're both humans, so I guess nothing? Okay, now, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your native language abilities? My native language? Probably like a 9. Okay, so that means you basically already mastered the skills and techniques that you need to learn a language. You did it with your first language, right? I guess you're right. So then it's simple. All we got to do is use those same skills and techniques that you used to learn your first language, which you do pretty good at, by the way, and apply those to learning a second language. You know, that makes a lot of sense. All right, you ready to do this? Sure, let's do it. Okay, if you want to get the most out of this thing, I recommend that you adopt the following suggestions. Number 1, absolutely no reading or writing in the foreign language until you have mastered your pronunciation. Say what? Look, you're just gonna have to trust me for now. Okay, I'll explain in a little bit. Alright, dude, but if I'm not fluent in 90 days... What? Number 2, you're gonna have to follow the steps that I give you in order. Alright. Number 3, you need to be patient with yourself. It took you a lot longer than 90 days to learn your first language. I think that's like the hardest part. Look, you're gonna have to decide now that you won't give up on yourself. Like I said, I'll try. Hey girl, you wanna do my video? Okay, the next thing is, as we're going through these lessons, I need you to make sure that you read each corresponding chapter in the book. Dude, that sounds like a lot of work, bro. Alright, well I guess we're done then. Wait, Jeff. I'll do it. Alright, man, I'll teach you. The next thing you gotta do is promise not to avoid contact with native speakers. Now, that's kind of scary, dude. So you want to learn the language, but you don't want to talk to the people that speak the language? Oh yeah, that is kind of stupid. Okay, so now what I want you to do is go read the introduction of the book again. If you haven't done it, do it for the first time, and then come back. Hey Jeff. What's up, Jeff too? I just finished reading the introduction of your book, and I went ahead and read the first chapter too. Okay, so ask yourself this question. How many bilingual people do you know? Not that many. And of all the bilingual people that you do know, which aren't that many, how did they learn their languages? Well, I guess most of them grew up like here in the United States, but had parents from other countries, so they spoke a different language at home. A couple of them that I know moved to another country and lived there forever, or married someone from another country, but that's pretty much it. Okay, same here, by the way. And think about everybody else that you know that's not bilingual or multilingual. You want me to think of everybody else that I know right now? How many of those people have taken foreign language classes or used a course or an app? Probably like all of them. Where are all the bilinguals? So like in chapter 1, we talked about how a baby learns its first language. Okay. Yeah, you're right, man. We should probably recap it. Okay, so what was the first thing that happened? Well, as a baby, I guess I became aware of sounds that were coming out of my mouth and other people's mouths, right? And I Spent a lot of time listening to those sounds and watching people move their mouths. After that, you started learning how to mimic. Yeah, that's right. And then the mimicry caused responses in other people that helped me to identify things, right? Exactly. And you continue the process of listening, repeating, identifying people, objects, places, being coached by your parents and other people. Yeah, and then after a while, I started to sound less like a baby and more like a native speaker. And then you continued on that process until you finally qualified to learn how to read and write. That was a pretty good recap, I think. Okay. In what ways is the common classroom approach to learning a foreign language different than the way that you learned your first one? Well, what you said made a lot of sense about they teach you the alphabet like right away. And I remember when I took Spanish in high school, they showed us the alphabet on day one. Exactly. And those letters looked a lot like the letters of your alphabet. Yeah, and I remember I could never change the way those letters sounded in my mind. Right, and didn't you have the tendency, like most language students, to pronounce this new alphabet using your native language sounds? The only sounds that you had mastered up to that point? Yeah. Right, so once you, quote, learn the alphabet and learn to read and write in this new language, you pronounce all the words using your native language sounds because those letters still sound like your native language in your mind. Oh, so that's why you don't want me to read and write yet. Jeff 2, you there? Hey man, what's up dude? Did you read chapter 2? Yeah man. Alright, let me test you man. What is the most important skill that you must acquire before learning how to read and write in a foreign language? That's easy man. Pronunciation. Okay, now here's a trick question for you. Who would learn a language faster? A toddler or an adult? That's a tough question, man, because I've always heard kids are better at languages than adults. Let's say the average kindergartner knows around 5,000 words. See what I'm saying, dude? That's a lot. That's really not that fast. That's like learning 2 to 3 words per day. Yeah, I guess that's not very fast, man, because I mean, if it took me 5 years to get to kindergarten level as an adult, I'd be frustrated. Yeah, but you gotta cut the kids a break, man. They were learning all kinds of stuff, not just language. Yeah, that's true. They're learning, like, concepts of life and all that stuff. I get it, man. Okay, so I want you to recap for me the steps that you went through, again, to learn your first language, please. Dude, haven't we already talked about that? Come on, man. I want to make sure you get it. Okay, first I became aware of sounds, right, that were coming out of people's mouths. Spent a lot of time watching and listening. A lot of time before I was even able to speak. What's next? Oh yeah, I started mimicking what people were saying, and that caused me to understand things. Hold on, let me look at your book real quick. Dude, are you cheating? Oh, bro. Honestly, man, this information's so good, it makes me feel like I'm cheating. Alright, so what came next after mimicry? I just built my vocabulary slowly, real slow. I was constantly coached by native speakers, which in my case were my parents. Oh yeah, and eventually I started sounding like them, and that qualified me to go to school and learn how to read and write. Yeah, and once you were finally in school learning how to read and write, they taught you grammar at that point. Yeah, and then I was in school forever. Alright, great job. Now let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible to follow a similar process when learning a second or third language? Now that's a tough one. Well, are you willing to give it a try? Yeah, I mean I can't be like born into another family or nothing. Okay, you remember what I wrote in there about recording yourself? Yeah, I don't really like that idea, but... Well, do you know why it's important? Do you understand? I guess the closest thing I could kind of relate it to is when I first heard myself in a recording in my first language, right? I didn't realize that that was how I sounded. And at first I didn't even think it was me. Yeah, so what you hear when you're talking isn't what other people hear. That's why you gotta record yourself to see what you actually sound like. Okay. Rocky, sit down, dude. Okay, how often should I do that for, and for how long? Well, that's gonna be your measuring stick. Until you can record yourself, and when you hear yourself, you can say, oh man, I've got great pronunciation. You don't need to read and write. How am I supposed to learn this language without reading and writing, dude?